Welcome back, everybody. This Week in America, website thisweekinamerica.us. Thank you for joining us on the program. As mentioned, our guest on the show is Irene Jane Holmes. She is the author of the children's book ABC 123, Color Animal Kid, and she joins us from Olympia, Washington. It's great to have you with us on the program. Welcome to This Week in America.
Yeah, thank you.
It's great to have you with us to talk about the book ABC 123, Color Animal Kid. I want to talk about the background, the fact that this has been dedicated to your children with specific purposes, and you've written a number of books. But let's talk about this book in particular. Give me a little synopsis of what happens in the book, especially with Mikey.
Mikey's walking through the forest, and he'll see all types of animals like A, which will equal the ape, and he'll see the ape in the tree, and then he'll go through and he'll see one ape, and he'll see the color of it, and then you'll have like some type of one of your senses, which he will be hearing, like he can hear like the birds singing, and then you go to the next page, and it will be like two birds in the tree, and then it will be like blue. And he varies of different through the forest, and goes on an adventure and sees all types of animals with the colors, how many numbers the animals there is. So they'll learn their letters, their numbers, their color, and their feel of hear, smells.
Yeah, there's so many different things that you touch on in the book, which makes it such an exciting project, a stimulating project for young people to read, because you're dealing with counting, you're dealing with the alphabet, you're dealing with the senses. There really is quite a bit for a child here, isn't there, as they're reading it and enjoying it and learning something at the same time?
Yes, there is. It's good. The only one I couldn't get was like taste, to add taste to the book.
Yes, yeah, I can understand that.
That's kind of hard to do a taste, like taste of the air or something. But that was the strategy that I had troubles trying to figure out. Where am I going to find taste to add all five senses? But there's no way to add the five senses unless I change the story a little around. But I was towards the end, so couldn't change the story at all.
Well, you really did a nice job with the book. And again, the book is ABC 123, Color Animal Kid. You can find information available at Amazon, all of the usual places for books. You can log on directly by going to our website, thisweekinamerica.us, and link on and get all the information on the book. The book is dedicated to your children and basically children throughout the world. Talk about the dedication and why this book project was so important to you.
This book was important to me because I created it for my son Michael, and I just decided I'm just gonna create a book for him, and that way, when the kids grow, and the rest of the children around the world, they have this book to take with them wherever they go, and they'll learn about it.
Yeah, and there's obviously a lot of love and emotion that went into putting this book together. How long did it take you to do the book, from the time you thought of the concept to the execution and actually getting it printed and holding that first copy in your hand? Because it's an elaborate process. This is not just one story that you came up with and you had it printed, maybe some illustrations. There's a lot that went into this.
Yeah, there's a lot that went into this book, and probably I created this book probably 3-4 months after my son Michael was born, and he was born in 2010, September 2010. So it would have been around December. I think it would have been around November. Yeah, probably around December or January of the following year, until and it just recently got published last September.
Yeah, and it's
last September of 2015.
And really getting a lot of excellent reviews because of the fact that it is quite entertaining and educational at the same time, and it's sometimes difficult to incorporate that. You really enjoy writing. Talk about what that does for you and what you're hoping that your writing does for other people, the people that have the opportunity to read it.
Well, I enjoy writing because it helps ease your mind. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's pen or paper or even or just typing on the computer. You just sit there and write whatever comes to your mind, and these words just all of a sudden just pop up, and I just start writing these words, and it turns into a story, and I can feel and sense the the emotions and all that that's inside the story, and you can it's like a movie. You're like walking with the boy who's going through the story. And with my readers, I just can feel and hope that this will teach the children, along with the parents, to read and see the story with their children, and see how the children react as they're going to the story.
Well,
I have I have a experience with the book already, that when I went to a couple of play groups. I went to a play group, and at my church's nursery, we went. I read my book there, and my book was read there, and the children sat through the whole thing, and they're so interested. They wanted to look at the page, even though time frame ended. They wanted to see the animal, and they're very interested in what it was.
Yeah, and there's no greater tribute than when you have their attention, because as they're reading and watching, it does so many things. It's stimulating their mind. They're learning as they're doing this. And it also gives them a bond when they're there. You mentioned reading with the parents and reading with older siblings, that type of thing. It really brings everybody together, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I had one mother and nursery or play group, and this was only probably 3 weeks ago, and she was very surprised. Her daughter is just turned 4 this year, and she's very surprised. She sat through the whole book and went through A to Z and sat through the whole book, and she was very surprised because she usually does not sit through a whole book. You're lucky if you get her to sit through 4 or 5 pages, and she was very surprised.
Well,
That
yes.
book really makes you stand out, especially with a boy, like the mother said, that boy basically brings your book to life, and the kids interested when they see a live character in your book.
The book is ABC 123 Color Animal Kid. It's available, I mentioned Amazon. We can get you a link when you go to our website, thisweekinamerica.us. Irene Jane Holmes, the author, is our guest on the program. Where's the easiest place to get the book? I mentioned Amazon. Are there other outlets that are easy to navigate?
Yes, I also have a website. It's www.irenejane.com. It's under construction, so it's not up and running, but hopefully it will be up and running soon. And you can also go to bookventures.com, and that's my publishers, and they have their own link to books they sell, so you can also get a hold of my book through them.
That works, and then we've got the blog that you have. We've got a link for that as well that you'll find at our website, thisweekinamerica.us. Studying screenwriting, and that's something that you're really interested in. Talk about that, because you were very prolific. You're looking at screenwriting. You've written. We'll talk in a second about the poems and some of the songs and other books that you've written. Talk about the screenwriting.
Screenwriting, I've only taken the basic of screenwriting class. Basically, with screenwriting, you create you create your storyline. So basically, it's for a movie or a TV show or a play. Varieties of different things you can do with screenplay, and you take your story and you just break it down, so where you'll have different TV stars who take your book, and they take your screenwriting book, and they just read it over so they can create it into a movie or TV show or play or whatever they're going to use it for.
And I can almost see, as again, when you're reading ABC 123 Color Animal Kid, this would be great to do something with this, and hopefully that's a project in the works. Irene Jane Holmes is our guest on This Week in America. The book is ABC 123 Color Animal Kid. You also have certificates for writing stories for children. Let's talk about that specifically. What are the keys to a successful, a good story dedicated to children?
You basically gotta have it, basically writing it in their format so children can understand. And with me, I go through and like this story in particular, I go through and pick out the different pictures myself because I didn't get an illustrator to illustrate my pictures for me. They just publisher gave me a website to choose the different pictures, and then I used my son's picture and had her add it to all the pictures, and it just helps when you add your storyline and you just break down your storyline and you just it's different when you're making like a novel for the older children or young adults because it's like a full page of that type of a book. But children's books, they're like just no more than 3 or 4, maybe 5 sentences at the most for a children's book. And most children's book are probably no more than a sentence, and it's just you got to just type of break it down and make it into their understanding, like A equals for ape and all that type of stuff.
That may sound simple to somebody like, oh, you're not writing that much. It's really crucial what you write, isn't it? Your choice of words, and you don't have that
Yes.
many, so they really have to be impactful, and you really have to get the message, the point across in few words, and those words have to be really powerful.
Yeah, you really got to have your words powerful and choose different words. And sometimes you end up writing the book, and then when you edit your book, you end up having to change it around to make it sound a lot better for the kids and the parents who's reading the book to the kids.
You've written so many books that you're waiting on, and many of these to be published to get the word on that. And you're writing a memoir, a novel, poems. Let's talk about a song that you've written that you're quite proud of, and hope that you're able to do something with this. Talk about the song.
Yes, it's called I Want to Be Like My Brothers. And basically, it's you break it down to all their developments as they grow from baby all the way up, and like roll over and crawl and sit up and talk and stand. And you just break it down and you just say like 3, and then you say I want to be like my brothers, and you just and I can sing a little bit of it if you want.
Yes, please do.
I want to be like my brothers. I want to roll over like my brothers. Crawl like my brothers. Cry like my brothers. Be like my brothers too. I want to sit up like my brothers. Stand like my brothers. Run like my brothers. Be like my brothers too. I want to run like my brothers. Play ball like my brothers. Do everything like my brothers. Be like my brothers too. I want to be like my brothers too. I want to be like my brothers too. And my mom and dad too. Na 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 na.
I
That's a
like that.
short.
And again, yeah,
Yeah, that's the short version.
that's powerful. And I'm sure. How about your children? They respond to that. I'm sure they like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this basically helps my children not give up. And I've posted this there's a link that I've have it on video on YouTube, and it's parents around the world has heard this song, and it helped they help the parents along with the children.
Well, yeah, and so much of that is interconnected. Where if you're helping the children, you're helping the parents, you're helping both of them together, as we talked about on the program. A couple minutes left in the show. Irene Jane Holmes is our guest on the program. The specific book we're talking about, ABC 123 Color Animal Kid. Talk about what you're working on. You mentioned a novel. I believe you've got a novel that you've either completed or working on another memoir. You really have a lot that you're working on, don't you?
Yes, I have a novel called Boy's Adventures Through the Wild West. I'm editing it right now. My publisher's ready to
print it out and publish the book, but there was a bunch of errors in there, so I'm editing my book, and it's gonna take a while to get it edited. It's 8 chapters long. Basically, three boys go on an adventure through the West. You go through the ghost towns, and they go through an adventure through the ghost towns, and they'll see unexplainable objects appear in front of them, like a ghost, or 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 you see a skeleton through your window. All types of other things that's unexplainable. Um, Falling through traps, falling in different types of water, um, all that type of stuff. And it's a book that I've had people read before. And one gal from church, she was editing it, and she couldn't get through more than the first chapter because, it was because she's not too fond of ghosts. And she says, this book is alive.
This is not the book you want to read late at night when the lights are off, just before you go to bed, obviously.
Yeah, this is a type of book I would say is ages from 10 and above, and people who's interested in exploring through ghost towns and into the ghost or a witchy bug that's going to pop out in front of you, and if you look at it, your eyes are going to turn weird and you'll get sick just from looking at this witchy bug. And all types of unexplainable things happens through here, and there's things that they collect along the way that can help them, or the collectibles, and they're always leaving money. And then the spirits seem to give it back because they're not going to have anything to do with it. But the boys are just trying to be as much honest as they can, and as they go through this town and just trying to help out spirits and everybody else that needs help. They try to help people out, and other people try to help them out. And it's an interesting book if you're really into ghost and all that type of unexplainable things that happen. That who knows if it happens in the real world today.
But it does in your
uh,
mind, and you have a very vivid imagination. I love the stories and so many
Yeah.
that you're working on. Unfortunately, we're out of time. The book we're talking about is ABC 123 Color Animal Kid, and it's available, as mentioned, at all the usual outlets. And IreneJane.com, is that the website that should be up soon?
Yes, that's the website that should be up soon. Hopefully within a month.
Okay, and we'll get all that information and have it up on our website. So you can go to thisweekinamerica.us and link on directly to Irene's information on the book, ABC 123 Color Animal Kid. Irene Jane Holmes has been our guest on the program. It's been a pleasure to have you with us on the program. Really an excellent job with this book, ABC 123 Color Animal Kid. Thank you for being with us on the program and sharing that.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
It is our pleasure. Once again, ABC 123 Color Animal Kid, the name of the book. Irene Jane Holmes is the author. Information, of course, available at our website, thisweekinamerica.us.